there we are. Okay, sweet as. Welcome to a second playtest of the War Story rules. We are in Stalingrad. We're one man down. One of the people has already fallen prey to the vicious hunger and cold of Stalingrad and has pulled up terribly sick as a result with a splitting headache, which I completely understand because that's how I woke up this morning. And we're down to 4, but that's okay. So when we last left our intrepid heroes, they were schlepping a sled down the River Volga, covered in parachute material, carrying various equipment that they'd stolen from not stolen, sorry, rightfully acquired from the drop that had landed various supplies in the middle of Stalingrad. And I think you shot a couple of Russians or Germans. Were they Germans? No, they were
I
Germans.
think they were Germans.
They were Germans,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, it's hard to keep count. You'd shot a couple of Germans in a sort of stealth attack and then they buggered off. And you now find yourselves in the middle of the night moving down the river, having successfully negotiated to avoid the deadly, ice holes and other things. And so far, you've escaped notice. Now, I will be transparent. Tonight, what I think we need to play test is actually a combat. So, despite all of your very reasonable efforts to be the best of the best, we're probably going to have a fail at some point so that we can see how the combat rules actually roll. Because that's
Sounds
what
good.
playtesting is all about. And I've gone to a lot of trouble to pick out all the combat rules, so I'm keen to see how they work in practice. All right. So, on that note, so just to reset, we were heading southeast down the river. You can see on the map that is currently present how it's structured. So the river itself flows south. You started at that exit point there, that little river that's flowing, the little creek.
Are you showing a map at the moment?
On
On roll.
on
Yeah.
roll.
I got it. Yep.
Yeah. So you can
Thank you.
see that you're moving down. You've been pushing down through the ice, avoiding all the traps and deadly things. When we find our intrepid heroes crossing the open ice. Now, I'm going to flick the map, which will be a bit of a giveaway. It'll take a moment to load because it's a little bit big. So apologies for that. But it's the setup for the next scene, so we might as well throw it up. We will still be playing Theatre of the Mind, but this is much more... Obviously, you'll pick it pretty quickly what it is when it loads.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it makes it smaller for you guys. Does that make it smaller for you or just for me?
Well, I can't see the map yet.
Oh,
so...
okay.
No,
Well,
I
when it
can't.
loads, it'll be quite
Yeah.
big.
I see a stretch of river, icy river, and a tree in the side.
Yep, perfect.
Yep, I see it.
So, I've been
I
playing
have a
with
big
ice.
black wasteland.
Yeah, sorry. It'll probably take a little bit longer to get to you.
No worries.
So I've been playing around with isometric views. So this is using Dungeon Draft and Photoshop to create an isometric view, which was kind of cool. It was a bit of fun.
That's
actually.
cool.
Yes.
Only took about a half an hour to make too, because there's a guy online who shows you how to automate your PS so that you can generate an isometric view from any image. Takes all of 30 seconds once you've set up the actions. Super cool. Okay, so this is the view that you've got going down. Oh, Dave, have you got an icy?
I've got nothing yet.
Oh, okay. All right. So, in the grand vision of Theatre of the Mind, you are moving down the blue section of the river, which is the icy sort of flow. The banks of the river, sort of icy white, and then you can see that on both sides there's sort of cleared ground, and in particular on the, I guess, southern side, but not sort of southern, but southern on this map, certainly more eastern on the map that western, sorry, on the western side of the river is the built up town itself. So these piers running out over the ice are sort of, coming from the town, and you can see there's some buildings running along that far edge as well. And there's also a tree with no leaves. Well, no, not many leaves. A few leaves falling from it.
Are we supposed to be able to see the pier, or do we just see a blue strip?
Use the minus zoom symbol. So if you go to the far right-hand side.
Got you now. Yep, got it.
You'll be able to make the map a little bit smaller, which will actually make it easier to see.
With you now.
Cool. All right.
I did see it for a moment, but then I tried to zoom it and it disappeared.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it'll reload.
I'm trying to find it.
Come on, Dave. It'll work.
I'm working on it.
It'll work. I got faith. I can represent it if we need to. So
the fleeting view of it I got, it looked very good.
Yeah, no, quite proud of it myself.
I've got no idea where it is now.
So has it completely disappeared?
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom out to get because it wasn't on what was displaying on my screen. So I moved
go
around
minus.
a bit as you do.
So one really key thing is go minus.
I've done that, and it's not appearing anywhere.
Okay, hold on.
I'll keep looking for it.
Yeah,
must be here somewhere.
Actually, I can. Sorry, I can do something. Okay, I've actually made it public, which means down the bottom you've got an assets tab.
Yep.
If you pop that up now, you should see that map.
Yes.
So you can click on it and load it directly, I assume.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
No worries. It's quite cool, actually, those sorts of things. So, as you're moving down the river, you can hear the sound of Russian voices on the eastern side of the river. And obviously you can hear German sounds and German voices from the western side. And every now and then, basically fire just breaks out across the river. For no apparent reason.
Can I just check? Are we travelling from top left to bottom right then? Is that our direction of travel? Yeah,
yes.
Thanks.
That is correct. So you've got so you can hear German voices and Russian voices on each side, and like I said, every now and then there's just a scattering of fire. Most of the fire comes from the Russian side because they have more ammunition, quite simply. So every now and then there's a sort of load up of a Maxim. So what's the name of the Russian? Let me see.
HMG. It is the Maxim.
Yeah, it's the Maxim M10, isn't it? The Russian
I don't know
version.
the number.
Yeah, I think so. It's the M10. I've got the stats written down in the. Actually, I've got the stats written down in my. Just give me 1 second. I will jump quickly onto my other thing. If it'll let me, which it doesn't want to. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Should be able to do this again sometime. Come on, run sheet. Just view under window. Screw it. And I'll just check that I've broken OBS and doing that. Nope. Awesome. So there's a clear sound of combat and there's conflict. Across the river, you hear the sound of the Russian voices. Can I get you all to please make a... What's the perception skill again?
Is it observation? Or
Yeah.
I think it might be perception, actually.
Yeah, it is perception.
It is perception. Yep. Can I get you all, please, to make a perception roll?
Are we rolling these on roll still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so the people at home can follow along.
I got 1 6.
No successes.
Mechanically looking for how, and mechanically trying to find it on the sheet.
Okay, so roll the sheet down. It's under empathy, so it's the third block of stats. And there's a... just
2.
click on the perception skill.
The number or the D6?
The D6.
The D6.
The D6? Yep, done. Sorry.
And there it is. And then you should have a roll option. that's just
Oh.
popped up across the top of your screen.
Done. Awesome.
And you have 2
2
successes.
success.
Now, interestingly, do the rest of you not have perception skill?
I've
Yeah,
got
I
0
don't have
dice in it.
perception skill,
Perfect. Okay, then it's
but
working.
I did get a success.
Then it's
Yeah.
working. That's really
Yeah.
reassuring. Okay, so the you hear shouting from across the river and the sound of a Russian voice yelling abuse across the river, and then a click of a very heavy machine gun being loaded up. So you have a chance to it's the PM. It's the Polymot Maxima PM 1910 7.62mm machine gun. Gotta love it. It's got a shield. It's got everything. A lot of fun. All right. So those people who made their perception roll. So those people who got a success on perception. So that's Bart and Jason.
Yeah.
You guys can basically sort of dive behind the sled that you're currently pushing.
Get cover.
Now, one of you got an extra success, and in War Stories, you can give one of your extra successes to someone else. So one of the cuter things about War Stories is you can actually sort of take an extra success and, in effect, give someone else that bonus. So that's you, Bart. So,
Brandon gets it.
all right.
I randomly flipped.
Okay. So you grab the sergeant and push him down, Boris, down, just as the Maxim opens up. Now, the Maxim is not targeting you directly. However, having said that, these things are dangerous as heck. So if I'm rolling a full attack, full auto with suppression as my goal, which is what we'll assume I'm doing, to be clear, I roll +8 dice.
Holy shit, that's a lot of dice.
That is a lot.
So is the +3 from the gun itself and then +5 for suppressing?
Because it's a heavy machine gun. So heavy machine gun gets +3 based on what I saw in the rules. And then it gets +5 for full auto suppression. It would get +4 if it was not firing the suppression.
If it was trying to kill us.
If it was trying to kill you directly. So, once it does suppression fire, so use the full auto rules with the following modifiers. So suppression is not, there's no, you've got to take a guts check to undertake an action. I've got to roll to see if I get any successes. So I get 8 dice plus 1, 2. Oh, I'm rolling dice. I should be using roll. Sorry. Now I'm being bad. Okay, I'm going to just use this guy because he's got ranged combat skills.
You just can't get the GMs these days, can you?
I know, they're all rubbish. I've said that much. If
I have my dice next to me because I don't like leaving them
3, 4,
alone.
5,
Yeah,
6.
yeah, I have a big.
They
pile
get
of them.
lonely.
All right. I'm going to roll it publicly so you can see how many dice that adds up to.
Oh, that's too many. That's too many. That's
So
too
that's
many.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Jesus.
That's too many.
Okay.
You said, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said we have to make guts checks?
to do anything.
Right.
So now I can use one of my hard-won what are they called? Fubars.
Fubars.
I can use one of my hard-won Fubars to make one of those strikes able to hit a random target in the suppression zone with a grazing hit, which I'm going to do because that's what we're doing here.
Oh, no.
So the good news is, though, I'm in effect only getting the value of a single hit. So, so anyway, all right. So the first thing that happens is I roll to see who I hit.
So presumably, you could argue in this situation, seeing I was the only one who didn't get the benefit of a perception roll, that I should be the one who's too slow to duck.
Well, but the difference is they'll get cover.
That's true. Yeah, that's a fair
So
point.
they'll
Yeah.
get cover as armor. You won't.
Yeah.
So luckily, because we're using I got to
762 bullet improvised cover of a sled equals it might as well not be there.
no.
By the way?
This isn't true real life, man. This is
Okay,
role
okay,
playing real
okay.
life.
Okay, gotcha.
It probably,
Although-
it'll probably become the same though, even if we get 3 dice of
Yeah.
protection
Cool,
from
just
it.
checking.
Okay, the good news is it's Brandon. It was pushed out of the way. So it's good because you were pushed under cover, so you know, better the cover that you have than the cover you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
And one of the other things
Appreciate the push undercover.
is that cover works quite uniquely in this game. So there's 2 types of cover. There's hard cover and soft cover. So hard cover will actually, like, literally stops a bullet. And soft cover provides, in effect, hiding ability. So soft cover will not automatically block a hit. And hard cover can if the weapon is not armor piercing. And this weapon is not armor piercing. So, however, to Bart's point, I'm not going to rule that a wooden sled is hard cover.
Yep.
So it gives you so you get to roll the dice to resist the hit. Now I'm assuming you've been pushed all the way down and you're basically, head down, sort of like this, hiding behind the sled as just automatic fire just peppers the space. Now what I need, Dave, so you're out in the open, but you can now make a guts check.
Yep,
And you need 1 success.
If I want to act.
That's correct. Which you might want to do because you might want to duck behind something. You need to clear first.
Oh yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I got 1 success.
Yep. So you can.
I'm getting down.
Yep. So Maxim machine gun fire peppers the space. 1 hit. Almost hits Brandon. Now, Brandon, the way it works is I've got 1 success against you because I'm only getting a glancing hit. You can, for the sake of this, you could spend a lucky strike to sort of negate that. But just for the purposes of playtesting, I think we'll just work it as if you're taking cover, if that's okay.
I already used my lucky strike.
Last session. Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and you might want to save it for when you're not. Because this is at -2 as well to the damage roll.
That's correct.
Because it's a grazing shot from the suppression.
Now
It might still kill you.
Yeah,
of
I
course.
do have. Yep, I do have. Okay, so medium woods, thin wooden wall, thin door. Wooden door is worth 3 points of cover. So, do you want to roll 3 dice, please? And a success is all you require, and you will be able to ignore the hit. Okay, the bullet penetrates. All right, so now we go through the process of rolling the damage thing, which I have. Combat basics up here. I have it. Okay, so range combat. I've hit you. You ducked out of the way, but I still hit you. I roll a hit location. And I note the damage bonus if applicable, and then it does, and it's a D10, I think, for a hit location, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So then I go to hit a D10, and sorry, I'm keeping the, that's better. I'm just keeping the successes up because if you try and do anything, I need to remember how many successes I got. Okay, so it's an 8 on the hit table. And that is second table.
Lower torso.
Lower torso. Right. So that's no bonus to damage. And then I roll another d10 and I'm applying a -2 to the damage bonus of the weapon. Which is machine gun. What's your damage bonus, my sunshine? Ooh, +3. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a heavy machine gun after all. So it's only going to get +1 on the D10 roll. So I'll roll a D10 again. Oh! Okay.
Was it a 10?
It's a 10. It could be worse. It could be a 13. Just to reassure you, it could be worse. Okay, so you take 3 points of damage.
Oh, that still doesn't seem too bad.
That's pretty bad.
But that
Oh,
counts
wait.
as a crit. That's a crit too.
Yeah, that's why it's bad. Because
Oh, okay.
when you take 3 points of damage, first of all, you're at -3 dice for anything you do physically. And secondly, you have taken a crit because I did you 3 points in a single hit.
Okay, I like that. Wounded, morbidly wounded
Yeah.
mechanic.
Now, crits are mechanically devastating. Just to be clear. So I'll just roll a d6.
I'm trying to find my HP in this.
It's called physical resilience. And it's under statuses. So it's just below empathy.
Oh, okay.
And you should have 4 or 3.
That's what I'm wondering. I might have 3. Oh, here we go. Oh, I have 4. Okay.
Okay, so you're down to 1 hit point. 1 physical resilience, PR. You're down to 1 PR. And you have taken a crit, and I've rolled the crit, which was a 4, and it's lower torso. Oh. How did I stuff? Oh. Okay.
Under body at the bottom.
Oh, buddy. Yep. Thank you. Target blown back as above. Right. Vicious impact. Okay. You take 2 fatigue. You accrue 2 fatigue. You're stunned for 1d6 rounds. I'm going to roll on the table. 3. Right. Okay. So the bullet has hit you, dropped you to the ground, literally burst, part of your lower torso, so it's hit you in the gut area, which is not a good place to be hit. You are thrown back 1d10 feet, which I don't think I really agree with for this. I'm not going to lie. That seems a bit weird.
No, but the way momentum works is the bullet doesn't pick you up and throw you like it does in the movies. It just goes straight through you.
Yeah. If you're hit by a heavy machine gun, the bullet's just going to puncture you and go out the other side and keep on going. Under any normal circumstances. So you've dropped to the ground. You've flopped backwards. We'll just rule it this way, right? You've been hit in the stomach. You've flopped backwards. You've heard a cracking sound, so obviously maybe you've been hit in the lower ribs. You feel pretty broken and sore, and you are stunned, which means you can't do anything for 3 rounds, in effect. So basically, a bullet's just passed right through the sled, right through you, and kept on going. And then there's more repeated shouting from Russian. Can I get a... Now, Brandon, do you want to try and not shout out in pain?
Was this just like... Were these shots randomly just directed at us, or is it just random crossfire?
It's just random crossfire. You don't feel like
Yeah,
you
I
were
would
the
try.
direct target. You feel like you were basically you were collateral.
Yeah, I'll try. So what do I roll for that?
Okay, so just make a guts check. So go to your, I think it's empathy again.
Empathy, yep.
Our favourite stat of the night. And you have guts. So just roll your guts dice. Oh, okay. So you are laying on the ground screaming in pain. Right? Like a bullet has literally torn you up inside, passed straight through you and kept on going. It is not a pleasant experience. Okay. The other 3 of you are ducked down behind the sled like this while machine gun fire clatters over and through the shed, and you're lying as low on the ground as you can to stay out of the way of the shots. You can hear German voices shouting abuse from the other side.
I want to try and crawl across to Brandon and give him some medicum.
Okay.
Give him some medical aid.
As you'd be aware, I need you to make a guts check to move.
To see that, yep.
And then I need you to make a nimble check if you want to cross the area of
Yeah.
fire.
Okay, so my guts check. Okay, yeah. Sadly, it's letting me do it. I've got enough guts
Yeah.
to do it. Nimble. Now this might be an
Agility.
issue.
Thunder agility.
Yep. Let's find it on here.
There's only one of you who's nimble,
Yeah, and it's not me.
and that's Ileana.
Okay. Right.
Okay, now hold on.
Nimbly undercover.
Okay, all right. Now, Dave, do you
I-
have a lucky strike?
I do have one lucky strike left. Yeah.
Do you want to use it?
So I think
because now
I
would be the
will-
moment.
I think I will use it. Yeah.
Right, because you would have to actually beat my number of successes to move without being hit,
Yeah,
and I've got 4.
that's true. So I use a lucky strike then.
Yep. So you crawl across the ground, machine gun fire clattering over you, and yet somehow miraculously you pass through this hail of bullets. Like, as clearly what's happening is the Russians are aiming above you because they're trying to shoot the people on the other bank, and you guys are below that level. So it was obviously quite unlucky that Brandon was hit. You reach Brandon. He's lying on the ground. He's bleeding out. He's got blood pumping out of him. He's got a giant gaping wound in his side. However, you do have a med kit on because you got medical kit supplies, and I think you might even have a med kit actually. So you've got a gear bonus from the med kit. I think it's a dice. And
Okay.
you've got
Is it 1 dice for the med kit?
hold on, I'm gonna look. War Stories. Here we go. Actually, this will take me forever. Do you have? You know what? Let's rule that it's 2, like it is in every other Year Zero engine
Okay.
game for
Yeah.
now.
You can check that later on.
Yeah, it's fine. Because in Coriolis and every other game, it's 2 dice for medkits. So we'll
Yeah.
go with that.
Okay, I shall make the roll then. I've got a few dice there now.
Yep.
Okay, 2 successes.
Okay, that's heaps. Okay, so with 2 successes, you're able to stop the bleeding, which actually means that Brandon does not suffer the mobility loss that he was suffering. And you can actually heal a point of damage.
You're welcome, Brandon.
Thanks.
I think he's simultaneously stunned and screaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've
Maybe at the same time, I'm trying to shut him up. Stop him
yes,
screaming.
I figured you might be doing that. Did you want to make a command roll while you're
Yep.
at it?
Okay, command comes under there. I'm quite good at command, actually. So yeah, it's that moment in Platoon where I'm going, take the pain, take the pain.
Now, the bad news for
And I got
Brandon...
1 success. I
Awesome.
got 1 success. on
Okay,
that
well
command.
that'll come in use in 1 second, because the one thing we forgot was if you're hit by an attack or your zone is subject... Well, you guys made the roll for suppressive fire, actually. Oh, no. Actually, you didn't all make the roll for suppressive fire, did you? No, it was just you. I didn't get everyone to make a guts check, did I?
Not yet.
Not yet. Awesome. Okay, so, Brandon, the other thing you need to do is make another guts check for me. Oh, no, you...
Okay.
Oh, well, you failed that one, but anyway, let's...
I
did,
guess
yeah.
it depends if they want to act, isn't it?
No.
So if you want to act, you have
Causes
to make a
for
guts check.
stress if hit by an attack if your zone is subject to suppressive fire.
Okay.
So this is to resist taking stress damage.
Yeah.
Now,
So
you
do it.
can
Guts
replace,
check.
I'll just mention,
Yep.
if you all want to use someone's command skill, if your guts check is lower than their command skill, you can do that. So basically, if Dave's command skill, because Dave, you've got command, don't you?
I do, yeah.
How many dice have you got in command total?
7.
Yeah.
Lord.
So
But
if you...
I do have a thing called inspiring as a specialty, which allows allies in the same zone to get +1 to guts check if I'm not stunned or suppressed.
Right, so you can...
So would that be 8 dice for them?
They can replace their gut skill value with the command skill value of a visible ally if it offers a better chance of success. So basically, you can all look to Dave.
Yeah.
You know, because he's like crawling out
Hey.
under the fire and doing things and helping people, and you can all go, yeah, that guy. So can I get all three of you, because Dave's made his guts check, can I get the other three of you to make a guts check? Now, I assume none of
I
you
just
have
made
guts
one.
higher than 7, so I assume you're all going with Dave's 8 dice. Sorry, not
Yeah.
7
Oh,
dice. 8
yeah.
dice.
You get the plus. You get the plus one.
So
for
we
my
click
inspiring.
D6 8 times. Is that how it
Yeah,
works?
that's probably the easiest way to do it. Yep. Just make sure you've cleared your dice pool before you do it, and you're good. One more. Yep.
And you said 8 dice.
0 successes.
0 successes for Bart as well.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm inspiring. Come on. I'm inspiring.
I got 0. I got
What
0
le-
too.
I say to Ileana, what language was that?
I don't know.
Russian,
It's very authoritative. It wasn't in Italian.
Now, you could push, because you don't need a lucky strike for a push.
And pushing
Now,
in this
have
game
you
is
got...
just
Well, but hold on. I'll just check one thing. You've got no ones, Bart, so actually it would make complete... Well, it's lower risk for you. Okay, so the way it works is, if you push, you get... you run the risk of giving me foo bars.
right. Yeah, if we roll a 1.
If you roll a 1.
Yep.
But that's a small
Okay.
price to pay for, you know,
Yep.
maybe not taking stress damage.
I will roll again. I will push,
Okay, so
and
roll...
it's just the same dice again. No.
Same dice again. Yep, because you've got no 6s, so you're not keeping
Yep.
anything.
Yeah.
And you've got no 1s, so you're not moving anything.
Oh, I got
So
2 6s and 1 1.
Yes!
Same.
Okay,
Same.
Yeah.
so what that means is I get 2 foobar.
Uh-huh.
If I can find my foobar pool. There's my foobar pool. Oh, I used 2 foobar. So I'll add 2 back in. Yeah, nice. And you get 1 success. The other thing you can do is you can take the extra success you got and get a lucky strike with it.
Ooh.
So you can convert the second success into a lucky strike that you can now carry around.
Nice.
So it's a little bit of the... I mean, this won't mean much to Bart, but it's a little bit of the Forbidden Lands vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you get
I might
willpower for Forbidden Lands if you push
I might
things.
grab one. Yeah.
It's certainly worth having lucky strikes, because I've got a few foo bars. All right,
Yep.
so the gun... So you've all sort of resisted the stress damage that could have occurred to you, which is a shame, because I spent literally an hour this morning writing stress effect. But anyway, you know, look, it's not like my time was wasted.
Simplify it, I guess, considering your feedback, Thomas, already. So
Yeah,
Spent, not wasted.
spent. That's true.
Yeah.
Valid point. Well made. I take
invested.
the point. Invested for quality. So you're under fire. The machine gun's going off. Brandon has sort of recaptured, you know, their strength of will thanks to their commander, who's showing them, you know, how you have to act in these things. The rest of the team has pulled together and have looked to the commander of the unit, who's sort of strengthened their resolve, and they're all feeling ready to continue. The gunfire ceases after one round, because it's just, you know, random Russians shooting at random Germans. You guys were never the targets. And you can hear German laughter and voices from the other side, as they clearly have decided that, you know, they don't care what's happening. What do you want to do? Do you want to keep on trying to push down the river now, noting that, you know, there could be more of this? Or do you want to try and cross across back to the sort of the German-controlled zone? I'm assuming you don't want to cross over to the Russian-controlled zone, but that is an option.
Well, I guess the whole point of what we're doing is to get away from the German-controlled bit.
True.
So going back into the city is kind of all we've done is got Brandon shot. We've gained nothing other than that if we go back.
Yep.
So either we press on down the river or try and break the Russian line and make a run for it behind them.
Yep. Could do that.
Are we loading Brendan on the sled to move, or
So
is he
he's
moving? Or
he can move. He's badly injured, but he can move
Well,
because of Dave's excellent medical skills.
is it going to be more pleasant? Is it going to be better for him to be on the sled?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's injured.
An assessment of should he be trying to crawl along with us, or would he be better on the sled? I think I'd like the sled after I had a bullet rip off half my hit points, but that's my guess. Not I don't know
Yeah,
what
I'll
a loss of 2 hit points means.
probably be on the sled holding my gut.
That's right. Well, it's wrapped in now, but yes. All right. So you're going to lay on the sled, covered in the white, assumedly still, and then the rest of you are going to push the sled down the river.
Yeah, I think so.
Guess
Going
so, yeah.
into the armed camps and carrying an injured person doesn't
All right.
seem all that smart.
So
Although I guess how far?
You down
how
with
far
that,
down the-
Jason?
Yep. I'll go
Well-
wherever you guys plan to go.
I was just gonna say, how far down the river do we need to go before we find a spot where we can get beyond the lines? Do we have any sense?
you don't really, like, because you're not part of the German, like, so you're not part of the German command structure, not really. So you don't have access to what, sort of the strategic view, if you will. You knew what was happening in your little area of the city, because you've all sort of been broken up, right? So the Russians have sort of pushed and crushed the German leaders and the German army into this little pocket right against the river again. Well, not quite right against the river, because some bits of that are still controlled by the Russians, although that's north of you, not south of you. So you know that you just need to keep on pushing sort of south.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much all you know. And you are.
Yeah.
So you move further down the river, inching your way more and more quietly towards freedom, or at least some vague sense of escape from, the death trap of Stalingrad. In the distance, as you're moving down the river, you hear the sound. Well, actually, do you hear the sound? Can we get perception? Now, we checked the rules on infiltration and perception. We did a lot of checking of the rules after the last session, and it turns out it is one person rolls. As it is under the Year Zero engine under normal circumstances. However, interestingly, you can aid. That isn't ruled out, which is quite different. So the person, and there's no particular guidance on infiltration, but we'll go with the usual rule, which is lowest infiltration skill, but you can add a bonus for other people, particularly the people with good infiltration, sort of saying, hey, watch out for that thing over there. And the best observation skill. So, who has the lowest infiltration skill?
I
I
have
have
5.
What's it
four.
under?
4.
0. I have
Mine's
0.
Under agility.
Yeah, but your
Yeah.
agility is.
Add
something.
your agility to it too. Yeah.
It's in the attribute right
attribute.
next to. It's in the attribute pool right next to where the infiltration is.
So attribute 4, infiltrate 0. So I'm 4.
Yeah, so you're 4.
Yep.
So you've got
Okay.
4. Anyone got worse than 4?
No, I got 5.
Although technically you're at -2 dice, but you're laying on a sled, not moving. So I'm going to give you that.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I am not moving.
So you're laying.
I'm
on
rolling
sled.
for the sled.
So actually, the advantage
I
of putting
represent
you
the
on the
sleds
sled
in the
is that
creation
you
role.
are currently not sort of doing anything. You're just laying on the sled. So, which is probably good. So 4 dice now.
Can I offer aid for
Yeah,
infiltration?
so I was going to say, I think you can get aid
Yeah.
from Jason and so Arcady and Ileana. So that's 2 additional dice. So Bart, you can roll 6
So-
dice.
I press the 4 attribute and,
And
then
then
press
just 2
D6 twice.
Yeah, just D6 twice. Yeah,
Yep. And done.
perfect.
And
Oh my
4
god!
Wow.
Oh, all right.
I get
I-
this. I get their social security numbers.
You do. It's like, oh,
Wow.
what about my wife and children, Fritz? Anyway, because
You're lead scout from now on, Bart.
yeah, it's like you've mastered that. Okay, that's... Oh, yeah, that's right. And then I add a dice because they've got a speciality, which helps them. But there's no way I'm going to match that. No! So many no's in that statement. Okay. So now make a... Okay, so first of all, so Bart, you got 4 successes.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you get surprise on them.
Yep.
So you've been stealthy, you get surprise, and you get 2 additional points. Now you can only have a maximum of 2 lucky strikes.
Yep.
But you might as well have a second one.
I had one left over from last week, so I'm on 2.
So you're maxed out.
I'm on 2 at the
Yeah.
moment.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it then. That's what you got. But you
Can I share them?
Oh, that's an interesting
I reckon
question.
Brendan could do with one.
No, I don't think the rules as written do allow.
Okay,
allow you
no
to
worries, no worries.
give others
That would
lucky
seem
strikes, no.
way OP.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder
no.
whether maximum should be 3 rather than 2, just in sort of.
Well, it used to be
Latest
3, and then
movement.
then in the latest version of the rules, it moved to 2. Because when I did the character sheet originally, I did it for 3, and then I had to change it. Okay, so I now need the person with the best perception skill to put their hand up, please.
It's unlikely to be me, I think.
I have 2.
No.
I have
4.
3.
Oh shit! Does that mean it's me with 4 under the sled? That's not me.
So I think it's Dave with 4, by the sounds of it. So it's Arcady with 4 dice.
Well, have you got 4, Brandon?
No, I got 3. I was looking at it
All right,
wrong.
okay.
So it's Arcady. So Arcady, you've got 4 dice.
Where are we?
And you've
Yep.
got other people helping you, so we'll assume another 2 dice. Once again, noting that Brandon
Okay.
is sort of laying down on the job.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
roll.
Okay, I get 1 success.
Okay,
out of that
and they're not gonna sneak up on you anywhere near as well.
one.
'cause-
Actually, no, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push that.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. So and that gives only ones give you thingamajigs. don't
Only
they?
ones give me fubars.
And on roll, I just click the numbers I want to re-roll. Is that
Correct.
right? Yeah. Oh, if only it was 5s.
But it was no ones either, so it didn't move
No ones,
the
no.
needle either way.
1 success.
So they get this. Yeah, okay, so they get 1 success as well. All right, which means technically they win the challenge. Oh no, actually, hold on, no, you're the passive. They're the they're the sneaky. They're trying to be sneaky too. So you're passively observing. So actually, I mean, I'm playing hard and fast with the rules here, but I would generally argue that the infiltrator is the non-passive person in a situation where people are on patrol. If you were dealing with someone who was ambushing you, like laying hidden, that might be a different context. But in this context, I think it's pretty much a straightforward. They're moving around. So you see a bunch of. I'm sort of almost afraid to do this because I'm afraid I'll lose my map, which I really like. And I'm still going to do it. Actually, I can just make it public so you guys can see it in the little assets thing. So if you pop up the assets thing, you'll see there's German military police. A picture of a German military police. So
How do I do that? Sorry.
right down the bottom of your view, there's a little thing called assets with a double arrow.
Oh, yep. Got it. Sorry.
Just pop it up. You don't have to open it or anything. You can just see the picture.
Yep.
So, because I don't want to lose the map, because I love the map way more than I love the picture. So, these guys are field gendarmerie. They're field gendarmerie, right? So, I can't pronounce the German properly, but that's how you spell it. They are German military police. Most notably, that little crescent-shaped collar that they wear is the big giveaway. So
The
you can
gorget, yep.
at the gorget. So you can see, and that's what's given them away, right? Because you got 4 successes, so something's got to be pretty telling. So you can see the light glinting off their little gorgettes that they're wearing across their chest. There's 3 of them, and they're moving up the river, obviously on some form of patrol, probably to catch deserters. And they're moving directly at you.
I'll put a whisper in the ears. I'm the one who spotted it, right?
Yep. Well,
So I'll put a whisper
you're well
in the
hidden,
ear.
yeah.
3, signal 3 ahead, coming our way. Take a firing position. I'll say, Arcady, tell us when to open up. So I'll whisper that to everyone.
Yep.
'Cause
Now, just to make an important point, sorry.
and very intelligently, we got Jason to hold Brandon's gun.
Yeah, I was just gonna
'Cause
say
we
that. I was
We
gonna
were clever.
say.
We
Yeah.
thought the guy
Well,
with
the
his
gun
guts
I
hanging out.
already had was a. I
Like a
actually already
pistol.
have a gun on me. No, it's not a
Okay, sorry.
pistol. I've got a. What do I have? I have a rifle.
Okay.
Oh, you do? Oh.
Yeah, I
okay.
have
Yeah,
a
because they
carabiner
nicked
rifle
one, I
I
think,
got
in
off
the
the
last
Germans.
session. Yeah.
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 Oh, good, good.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
in that case,
right,
less of
yeah.
a stress.
Got off the guys that we shot.
Now,
Yeah.
a couple of things just to make mention. One, because you get surprise, you get 1 free slow action. So what that means is you can open fire for free before they get to do anything, or you can slow aim, which gives you a 2 dice bonus to your first shot. But means that it's initiative, so we roll initiative. So your 2 choices are you can start shooting before they even know you're there, but not get the 2 dice bonus, or take a 2 dice bonus and we roll initiative, or technically we draw initiative because this is a card game. Let me see if I've got some Coriolis cards. Give me 1 sec.
So for the sake of it, we'll go I'm in the center, Arcadie's to the left and Jason's to the right. And I'll say, I'll take the center one. So we don't all just shoot the center guy. Does that make sense? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm just checking some of the other options of things we can do. So we can do a thing called coordinate maneuvers, which if I tend to spend a fast action, I can make a command test, and for every success, 1 other character can act on my initiative. So it's basically like saying fire, and then we all get to fire at the same time. I guess
finding my initiative.
That depends on, I guess, my initiative being quite good. Now there is a.
What is
so
yours?
you
And
draw
what's
a
it under?
dice. You draw a card. You just draw a card. It's between 1 and 10.
Right.
And then
Sorry about
Thomas
that.
would draw the card.
Took me a moment. I had to find my. It turns out I forgot Coriolis doesn't use D10 10 cards. It uses 5
no.
6s. However, I have the Versen cards, which I've never opened, so that's quite exciting.
Ooh.
So I'm just shuffling them now. Shuffling.
So whilst you were looking for them, Thomas, we were talking about using a coordinate maneuvers action.
Yes. I did wonder about that.
So the rules as written, do they have have they got the included things like sort of swapping initiative?
Yes.
You can yeah.
So
and I guess the other question is, do you intend to do the initiative where we don't know everybody else's initiative?
No.
Or...
No, you'll know everyone else's initiative. So your choices are you can make a plan, in which case you give up your slow action and the person with the highest command tests their ability. If they're successful, everyone who's in the make a plan move moves on the same initiative, and you get to choose any of the initiatives of any of the players.
That sounds golden.
So if one person gets a 1, I think it's 1. Anyway, whatever.
Low is first. Yeah.
Low is first. Yep. Then you can all move on 1. However, you have to sacrifice your slow actions. So
we've got a free slow action.
Yep.
So we can aim with our free slow action. Then with the initiative, whoever gets the lowest initiative and goes first, if it's not me, can swap that initiative with me by saying, Sergeant, give us the order.
Yeah.
And then that can swaps the initiative. Then I make my command roll and give the order, and we all get to fire on my initiative straight
Yeah,
away.
and actually, I'll give you. I mean, in a sense, because Bart got 4 successes and we didn't know what else to do with them. How about this? All right, so I'll give you 2 slow actions because actually, I don't think it quite works the way you just said, Dave. But I'm not sure. I'm a bit lost myself at this point. You have 2 choices with coordinate maneuvers. One is the initiative thing. The other thing is you can just give an order. For instance, you can command everyone to fire suppressive fire. And each success will allow one eye within to act at the initiative of the commander with a slow action. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I think this is I think in this situation we'd want to shoot them to kill rather than suppress. And I think by reading that, I think it basically means my fast action will be making the command.
Yeah.
And if for every success, I can get one other player to act on my initiative.
Correct.
So
and they have to sacrifice a fast action, but they get a slow action option.
Yeah.
So in effect, they get 2 slow actions in a round.
We all get to shoot, basically.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, as I'm reading the rules, you can only give certain commands. So I think your first plan was the right one, which is make the plan and go with the initiative. So first round, you're going to... So your first slow action, your free slow action, you're going to aim. Is that correct? You're all going to draw a bead?
We can do... Like Bart was saying, Bart says, I'm taking the middle one. Arkady, take the right. Ilana, take the left.
Yep.
I take it Boris has got a gun as well.
Yep. I believe so. Brandon,
Boris...
have you got a gun?
Yeah, I got a gun.
Yeah.
I could use it. I mean, I was gonna role play like.
I assume you're gonna lay on the top of the thing and shoot people, even with the minus 2 dice, because you get +2 for the aim, so that sort of cancels out, right?
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Now, does anyone have an automatic weapon or a semi-automatic weapon, or are you all carrying bolt action?
I've got a
Someone had
I've got a machine pistol.
Oh, you've got. Oh, that's right.
Italian.
You've got that ruddy Italian thing.
38 SMG. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a carabiner rifle, which I don't.
It's a single bolt action.
Yeah.
It's the Mauser 98K.
So I've got the Wolf.
You've got a pistol.
Viewer 41. So
it's a semi-automatic. It's a machine pistol. It's basically not dissimilar to what Bart's carrying around. It's a little sort of.
Yeah.
And Brandon, what are you packing?
I am packing the iconic bolt action.
Right, so you're carrying the Mauser
yeah.
rifle as well. Okay, cool. All right, so funny story. The carabiners are actually what the military police carry. They're the standard weapon for the military police in this period.
Cool.
The things I learned while getting ready for this game. All right. So cool. So cool. Okay, so we're ready to go. So you've all aimed. I'll just make the point that those people with semi-automatic fire can do a burst at their opponent.
Yeah.
Which gives you a directed fire. It means you take a -1 penalty on your action dice, but you get +2 dice on the weapon. So in effect, you come out 1 dice better off. And the reason for that difference is because if you roll 1s on the gear dice, then I get to, jam your weapon. So the reason why it's split up that way is because of that. So semi-automatic, each additional round fired up to the rate of fire reduces the action pool by 1 and increases the damage modifier by 1. Or you can, So let's just assume that's what you're going to do. So, Bart, you just need to nominate how many... Sorry, you don't get burst. You get semi-auto fire, which is each additional round fire.
I've got auto and semi-auto.
Oh, so you can do full auto.
Yeah.
Use the rate of fire of the weapon, reduce the dice pool by 2, gain gear dice for the weapon at +4 dice. So you get +2 dice in effect, and you're laying down a massive amount of fire into the space.
Yeah.
And Dave, you've got a semi-automatic weapon, which means For each additional round fired past the first one, up to the rate of fire of the weapon, reduce the action dice pool by 1 and increase the damage modifier by 1. So if you wanted to reduce your pool by 2 dice, you could increase the damage roll of your weapon by 2.
Yep.
So it's a straight up trade action dice for damage dice. Damage pool.
Yep.
Alright, so on that note, and with no further ado, you're ready to go. So you've aimed.
Yep.
And I should be looking at you guys for this, because I need to get it right. Okay, so, but you're first, and your initiative, for the sake of conversation, is a 6. No, a 9. Not so crash hot. Okay,
Right.
Brandon, yours is a 10.
Oh, nice.
It's not good.
It's
That's
not good.
last.
Jason, yours is a 6.
A 6.
And Dave, yours is a 2.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
the
when he
field
said fire.
gendarmeries initiative is a 8. Right, well, that's a bit of an anticlimax. Okay, so and just to be clear, this is what they look like. Aren't they pretty? I love the best
Yeah.
cards.
They are pretty.
Now that I've opened them, I love them. Okay, so on that note, the first person to move is actually Dave.
Yep. So my fast action is going to be a command roll then.
Yep.
And I'll roll that, which is basically saying fire.
So hold on. So are you doing the make a plan or the on me? Are you trying to get everyone to use your initiative? Is the question I'm asking?
Yeah, exactly. This is on me. So this is basically allow everyone to fire on my initiative.
Yeah. No, so that's make a plan. Make a plan allows everyone to fire on your initiative. On me allows you to give specific commands, of which you can say suppress, on me.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Charge.
Yeah,
Move out.
you're
take
right.
cover.
Make it. Yes. It is. So it is make a plan then. Yeah.
Yep. So make your command check, and you just need 1 success
So
on that.
did. So I got 2 successes.
All right. So well, you can take the extra success as a lucky strike because it doesn't do much else. Although you can use it. Oh, actually, you can use it to heal mental stress, but no one's taken any at the moment, so that's not really an issue. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I get a lucky strike back then.
Yep. So you've now got a lucky strike up your, in your pocket.
Yep. Which is always useful. If I can find where it
And
is on-
you yell out, and now.
So I go fire, and then my slow action is to fire at the guy on the right.
Okay. So we're skipping. We're mixing up the rules a bit here, which is understandable because it's a bit confused. But just to be clear, it's actually a slow action for you to get everyone to move on your initiative, not a fast action. Characters within earshot may collectively give up their slow actions when their turn comes. The character with the highest command skill tests his ability. If successful in the following round, the characters involved may act together on any initiative card drawn by any one member of the characters of the group. So you're going first,
Yeah, I know.
and
what
you're
that is,
giving
yeah,
up your
okay.
slow action, and then everyone can shoot on your turn. But you have given up your slow action to do so.
Yep. Okay, so I think there was a slightly confused thing here. So if you look under on me at the top, anyone with points in command skill may spend a fast action to attempt this ability by making a command test. Each success will allow one ally within earshot of the commanding character to act at the initiative of the commander with a slow action.
Yes.
So that was what I was doing.
But then underneath it, there's a list of, but it's only for specific commands.
Specifics.
So suppressive fire on me, which means they can move towards you. Charge, which means they can charge. Move out. You move together in an orderly formation, or you can yell out for everyone to take cover.
Okay, that's cool. I suspect we might want to change that because this kind of thing that we're playing through here feels ideal for that.
Yeah,
action.
absolutely, and it's kind of confused in its current state. I think it's reasonable for you to give up your slow action though to do it because it's kind of a superpower to be able to get everyone to move on your initiative.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. Yeah.
So you are basically organising everyone else to do the
Yeah.
right thing rather than doing the thing yourself. Is
Yep.
the logic of that. So let's play
Yep.
it as that's what you're doing. So you've burnt your slow action to get everyone to
So-
move on your initiative.
I guess my fast action, I'm just going to take cover for when they shoot back. Then.
Seems very wise. Okay, so everyone can move at the same time as Dave, but we will start with whoever was number 6. Who was 6? Jason.
I was a
Jason.
6.
Ileana.
Yeah.
So you've got a bolt
Yes.
action rifle.
I do. I can shoot it.
You
Right?
can.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
pretty much straight up bonus dice. Bolt action. Fight 1 round fired per action. Reload is a fast action.
Yep. Okay. Well, I've got my gun. I press the dice. I'm shooting at the guy on the left,
Yep.
and I'm rolling.
Go for it. That's a fair number of dice you got there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a hit.
I've got 1 hit. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. And the next step is.
The next step in the
that
combat
was
basics
that.
is
Yeah,
range combat. So,
So
opponent spends
avoid
a fast
an
action.
opposed or fight back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he
So you-
has no cover. There's no cover. He's
Okay.
in the middle of the ice. So he's not going to avoid the blow. So it's unopposed. So then what you do is you roll to hit hit location. So roll a d10.
Okay. It's clear, and then a D10. And roll a 7. And a
So you hit
7.
him in the lower torso, which is literally the favourite place to shoot people, it appears. And then you can roll a damage dice, which is another d10 roll with the damage bonus of the carabiner, which I think is 2.
It's 1.
It's 1. Is 1?
That's what I've got here.
Hold on, let me just check what I've got on my
Yeah.
one for these guys. Carabiner, rate of fire 1, damage 2. No, it's plus 2.
Okay, let me change that then.
You can roll on the damage roll under the weapon. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's a d10, 1 dice, plus 2.
Okay, let me.
Just roll the d10 and add 2, man.
Yep, I'm just gonna do that. Okay, cool. Colors. Oh my god, roll is a little slow. Oh no!
It's a glancing
1.
blow. So you shoot at him, and basically the bullet. I'm pretty sure the
Nick
bullet
him.
does no damage. On a 3. Minor
Right,
damage. 1 point.
1 point.
So he's taken 1 point of damage. Damn it! So yes, you've done him a glancing blow, but he suffered no specific things. However, he has not. His metal helmet does not help him, so he is at 1 less dice to do things as a result of your
Okay,
hit.
that's something.
That is
Yeah.
something. Okay, so that was you. Then we're at 8. Who was 8? Oh, that's me.
9, I think. 9,
9.
and 10. Yeah.
It was. I think
That
it
was-
was
That
Boris.
was me.
Oh no, it was you. Boris was a 10.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Same
So
story.
I'm trying to convert everything. So am I dropping like 40 dice? What's going on here?
Okay.
I've got to,
So you add. So you going full auto? Or are you just spraying
Yeah.
this guy with as many bullets as you can to try and take him out in one hit?
pretty much.
Okay. So you basically add 2 dice to your pool.
Yeah.
So hit your.
What's
hit-
my pool? For
Okay.
example. Oh, sorry. I know,
Okay. Yep. So go to the
No,
weapon, which is
Yep.
right down towards the bottom.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Hit the bonus die.
Yep.
And that should.
Oh, clear.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah, clear. And hopefully.
Yep.
That's your close combat plus your weapon bonus.
Yep.
And you have no skill, clearly. And then add 2 more dice to that.
D66. Yep.
And roll away. Okay.
1 crit fail, 2 hits.
Yeah, but the... Oh, no, the fail was. Yeah, okay. All right. So you get 2 successes. Which with full auto means you can actually spread the bullets.
Yeah.
Because you're actually, firing at this guy, but you can actually choose to hit another target, or you can just add a bonus to the damage on this target.
I'll get rid of my guy.
Okay.
Well and truly.
All right. So you'll add another point of damage to your damage roll. So then what you've got is you've got the damage die, which is just
Yep.
below the bonus.
Clear. Yep. And
Yep.
it's already got the 2
Yep.
calculated in. And I add 1 or something, or are we
Yeah, but you
manually
can
adding
just
1?
roll the dice and then add the 1
Yep.
at the end. That's fine.
3 damage.
Oh, God. Did you
4.
guys remember the 2 dice for aiming?
No.
Oh, so roll another
Ah.
2d6, Bart. Sorry, man.
Hey,
Okay.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So that's plus 2 that's plus 2 on top of the damage bonus of the weapon. So let's do it again. So just roll the damage again and add plus. Yeah, all right. So now
And 2 more.
and 2 more. So you've done 10. So you've
10.
rolled 10, which as
Yep.
we know from lived experience. Oh, where have you hit him? Roll a d10
D10.
again.
10.
We got that in the wrong order, but it doesn't matter. I did it wrong. That's me.
Yeah.
7.
7. Okay.
Lower torso again.
Lower
Lower
torso.
torso.
Literally the most popular place. Well, the only reason it mattered if you rolled the hit was if you hit him in the
Yeah.
head where he's got armor. Okay, so lower torso, 10 points of damage, which we know is a severe damage.
Yep.
So he takes 3 points, which means you've automatically critted him. So he's been hit in the stomach, blood bursts out of him. You sprayed bullets at him. Actually, multiple bullets have hit him in the lower torso. Is what's actually happened.
Yep.
And then roll a d6 to see what the crit is. And what number did you get, man? Sorry,
1.
I'm looking at the crit
Baby
total.
crit.
Okay, so a powerful impact. He's stunned for 1 round, and he has to test stamina, or he becomes knocked down as well. And he tests stamina with -3 dice, which doesn't sound like a good thing. Stamina, which will be here. So clear, sorry. Stamina, -1. Oh, whoops. -1, 2, and 3. Roll. He's actually pretty tough. And that didn't help him. Okay. So he collapses to the ground. You've knocked him over. You've badly injured him. He's not actually dead. And he's still got 1 physical resilience, so he can still do things. But he's out of the fight for this round. And then we're at Brandon's character. Oh, Jason, did you want to roll an additional 2 dice? Sorry.
Oh, just
2d6.
Yeah. Clear that.
It probably doesn't make any real difference, actually. Because you got the
No.
hit and it was kind of rubbish, but
I
Yeah.
got another one.
you got another one, which I think means
Would make it 4, wouldn't it?
4, which
in
is no
total, which is
different.
no
So
difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
same story. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, Brandon, and that's
I lose
including
2 dice.
you lose 2 dice for being sickly, wounded, and injured.
Okay.
And then did you? But you
Oh.
added in 2, right?
Yeah, so I'll just do a
Yeah,
my
cool.
flat roll. Okay, I got 1 6.
Okay, so as long as you don't push, you're fine. The ones
Okay.
don't matter unless you push.
Okay.
So you've got a
So-
hit.
Ooh.
It's a straight up hit. So roll a d. So roll the damage die of the weapon, which is loaded up on your character sheet.
Okay, copy. Let's see.
So if you just click the damage die, it should
Oh, I
just
gotta clear the roll.
yeah, just click the damage die. Nope,
Oh, that's.
that's the bonus.
Oh. I
but
didn't
actually,
a
roll a
bonus.
d10 anyway because we got this wrong
Yeah,
last
let me
time.
roll a
so
bonus. I didn't get a bonus. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I
Okay.
roll the d10 now,
Yep. Do it.
and I get a +2 buff. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Now roll a d10. We should have done it the other way around, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to slow you down, but I'm not making enough noise. So you've got to roll the hit location before you roll the damage, because if you hit them in the head, you get a bonus for hit location. Although we did have the whole conversation about is that really relevant if you're shooting someone. Conversation last week, but that's how the rules are currently written. However, just roll a d10 and tell me what you get, Brandon. We'll keep the 11, obviously. That's bad news for him. Yeah, just a plain d10. Lower torso. Okay, so another lower torso hit, thus making it literally the most preferred location for everyone. And could we roll a d6 on the crit, please? And what did we get? A 1.
Knock
So
down
the
and
same story again. Same guy, same story. So he gets to roll. I can just literally re-roll this because it's 3. It's exactly the same number of dice. Yeah, also no successes. Also stunned and knocked over. So 2 of them have been stunned and basically put out of action for 1 round, and they've been knocked over, so they're prone. The third one, however, was only glancingly hit and returns fire with his carabiner. Now, we'll make him the sergeant because someone has to be... Oh, no, he doesn't have a carabiner. He's got a much more exciting weapon. He's got a submachine gun. So he returns fire with his submachine gun. He, first of all, needs to decide whether he's going to just spray in your general direction. Yeah, that seems pretty likely. So he's going full auto, and what he's going to do is any extra successes, he's going to try and spread across you. Clear. He's rolling that many dice. However, he didn't see you, and you caught him by surprise. So, oh, sorry, that wasn't what I meant to do. I'll reduce his dice pool by 2 because you're shooting out of the darkness at him. And he rolls. Okay, so he got 2 successes. So what that means is I can spread the hits to 2 of you, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So the first one hits... Oh, whoops. Sorry, I meant to roll that. The first one hits Brandon again.
oh,
Oh no.
And the second one hits... No, it's got to be a different target. Can't be the same target. Okay, and the second one hits... I think it's going to be Bart. Let me just check that. Yep, it's Bart. Yeah, according to my camera, I'm working across my camera. So what I can see is Bart, Brandon. All right, so 2 hits, 1 each for each of you. Yay. So the first thing that happens is I roll a d10. Now, you do have cover. So you can use your fast action, because you haven't used your fast actions, to...
I used it to aim.
No, that was last round. Because you got a you got a free slow action.
Oh, okay.
So you've both got the ability to do the... Actually, I'd prefer to duck behind this very lovely wooden stuff rather than just get gunned down by machine gun fire option. So you can try and avoid the blow. Now, what that means is you can spend a fast action to find cover, and there is cover. And if you find cover, you need to make a mobility check.
I like that. That's a cool mechanic.
So basically, you can roll off the side of... When he starts to shoot back, you basically just roll off the shed. Off the sled.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's cool.
The
Classic
other option
Indiana
you got,
Jones.
which we haven't used, and actually, Bart, you might want to do it, even though it's pretty dangerous. You can fight back. So what that means is, you spend a lucky strike, and you can roll your range combat, and the winner with the most successes lands the blow.
sold. With an automatic pistol, it's basically just turning the automatic pistol towards them.
So you two are basically spraying fire at each other.
Yeah.
And the person with the most successes wins the conflict and gets to roll damage against the other one.
Savoya!
So first of all, we'll get Brandon. Brandon, can you make a mobility check, please? At -2 dice, of course, noting you are injured. And mobility is under your strength stat, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Oh, it's athletic. Oh, it's mobility. Okay.
Just
So
make sure you've
-2.
cleared your pool.
Oh, ignore that. Let's see. All right, so
Now,
I
you
can't
could
manually
spend a lucky
subtract.
strike if you have one lying around.
Oh yeah, I can. I don't think I have a lucky strike.
Okay.
Unless you get one. unless you get a free one each session. But
Oh, actually, maybe you do. Do you get a free lucky strike each session, Dave?
I think you probably start a scenario.
Yeah, it
With
feels
them,
like a scenario
with it-
thing, and then you go up and down.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
no.
I'm
All right,
willing
you're
to.
rolling that. Do you want to push?
Sorry, Brandon.
Do you want to
Okay.
push, Brandon?
So what does this minus mean on my dice?
It's just telling you that you. So currently, do you have? You don't actually have any mobility, do you?
No.
No. So that's just a divider. So if you
Oh,
had
okay.
mobility skill, the mobility dice would appear on the other side of the divider.
Yeah.
Copy. Okay. All right. So I guess since I didn't roll a 1, works like Forbidden Lands, right?
Yeah.
If I don't roll a
Yeah.
1 in the first, okay. So I will push, which is
Just roll
Is
again.
there weighted? Okay, just roll again. Okay. Oh, I see. Just roll.
Hey!
Oh man,
Hey.
got 2 6s. Oh shit.
You got a 6. So
Oh, nice.
you roll off the side of the thing, and we'll get to use the cover bonus of the soft cover that you have.
Oh, nice.
To resist the one hit you're about to take. So, do you want to roll 3 dice for me for cover? Clear your pool, obviously, before you do, but then roll 3 dice. And I assume you're just
There's
hiding
nothing.
behind the cover. Did you want to push
Oh.
that?
Yeah. What's the? Oh, there's a
I'm
1.
not sure. I'm not sure you can push cover dice.
Oh, actually, no, you can't. Good point. Well, he failed
Okay.
anyway. So.
Sorry.
So it's just
Okay.
the same effect. Okay,
Sorry,
so
Brandon. I'm just saying all the nasty things.
so you've rolled off the side and still gotten hit. It's like, what do I have to do to not die? Now his weapon. I'm gonna roll that D10 of mine and see what I get. Oh, is it not the lower torso? Can it be something else?
So many dice.
Upper
That's
torso.
imaginary.
Oh,
Yeah.
it sounds fatal.
Hey! Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it is funny. All right, and yeah, we'll be rolling that, and that's a 6, which means you take 2 points of damage. I think is it 2
1
with a
for
6?
6.
1. All right, you've
1 for
taken
6.
1 point of damage, which has
Oh my
not
gosh.
given you a crit, and because you got healed 1, not knocked you
Yeah,
out.
I'm not knocked out. Oh.
So a glancing blow. Now, Bart,
You're toying
You-
with me, God.
you have to roll
Mhm.
your
weapon
weapon
again?
again.
Yeah. It's a new guy, so no aim,
No aim.
and just raw.
Just raw. Oh, did
One
you
success.
did you roll? Yeah. So yeah, because you're yep. All right.
Only
and
one success.
Only one success, but he only has one success.
So the bullets slam into each other at the same time.
No, the rules are really clear on this. The defender always wins a
Tie.
A tie.
Yep.
That's the way the rules are written. And
That's him,
unfortunately
I
for
take it.
you, he
Yep,
is
that's
the
him.
defender in this
Yep.
situation. So you've burnt your lucky strike,
Mhm.
and you've tried to sort of outgun him, and he's outgunned you.
Yep.
So now for the D10 that I was saving for earlier. So he's
Mm-hmm.
hit you in the lower torso, and he's done you 1 point of damage after all of that. Ah, god damn it! All right, so there's bullets everywhere. Sorry,
Can I ask a question there? So, did that feel thematically and dramatically right? That
Probably not. And we're probably I'm sure there's
one
a
person
rule.
wins that duel and the other person loses that duel. Or if you stand and fight like that, should you both get hit?
So I suspect 2 things. One, I did not write everything out, and I bet you if I go to the actual rules, which I might not be able to do because my phone's almost dead and had the rules loaded up on it.
Because Gabriel and I have had a little bit of a debate about this. So I'm just interested to hear how it felt and what feels to make more sense.
So I think one thing to be really clear is it's all taking a bit long, right? Mind you, we're unfamiliar with the system, so that's part of it.
Yeah, I think also some of that is roll as well.
Yeah.
If we're all around a table with dice and paper character sheets, I think it will be quicker.
Yes, I think you're right. Hold on, I'm getting to the range combat. I'm finally there. Now, where's the throwdown?
So I think on the rules as written, you played it right there, Thomas.
Oh, really?
So I think that's the current version.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering whether does that make the most sense? Is that the best way of doing it, or would it be better if both parties, if you stand and shoot back like that, both parties run the risk of cutting each other down, as it were?
Well, definitely that's what makes more sense. Because you're not hiding, right? The real problem I have with it is you're not hiding. Now, if it's a single shot weapon versus a single shot weapon, maybe there's an argument. But equally, you've actually already built a mechanic into the system where a person can move up or down the initiative order by using their extra bonuses to move themselves up or down the initiative order by 2.
Yes.
Which would seem more logical in this case. So
They're both heavy abstractions. I don't mind either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an interesting.
The zero chance of 2 people pulling automatic weapons on each other, hosing each other down, and one of them has to win does seem a touch artificial, though.
I think it's the idea that the other person gets away scot-free.
Yeah.
It's not so much that there's a sort of mutual sort of like that one person can sort of pull a Swifty on the other one. It's more that we're firing a bucket load of bullets, right? And we've got suppressive rule fire. So maybe what it should be about is the victor gets to apply direct fire and the loser rolls suppressive fire to sort of represent bullets flying left, right, and center in the middle of the combat. Anyway, it's a thought. Because there is fire going everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. So, but I'm just conscious of the time. So,
Rules is written out.
Rules are written for now. So, next round, I assume you're now all moving on 2.
So I think that bonus lasts just for that particular round.
Right.
So I could probably make another command roll
and sort of try and do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Okay. Yep. So every round you could be sacrificing your action to give everyone else a better chance of moving and shooting at the right time.
Acting early. Yeah.
Yeah. That seems reasonable.
Okay. I'll do that then again.
Okay. So first of all, you need to make a command roll.
Yep. There we go. Okay, no successes and 2 1s.
Now, if you had a lucky strike,
which I don't.
All right, so we're probably down to initiative order then, which is not necessarily a bad thing because don't forget most of them are stunned at the moment. It's only one of them is actually not stunned.
That's true, yeah. I've got a fast action left.
Yeah.
Can I aim with a fast action?
You can. You'll get a +1 dice for your next shot.
So I'll aim at the guy who's
dude.
still standing.
Yeah.
With my second action.
Oh.
See, my command has failed miserably.
If I empty my clip over that, 2 lots of blasting.
Yes, I think you definitely emptied your clip, so you do need to reload.
Yep.
With your fast action though, not with your slow action.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so I think next was 6. Who was 6?
That's me.
Ileana. So you've got a bolt action.
Yeah.
Now, this is the one thing I wasn't clear on. In the bolt action, when we say reload in the bolt action, do we mean actually pulling and chambering around, or do we mean putting a clip in?
I think we mean putting a clip in.
Okay, great. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Ileana,
So I've got.
you had a fast action left over from last round because you didn't do anything else. You could have found cover though, which might be a good idea.
Yes, I will have. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I will
So
do
you're ducked down, shooting over the sled.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So do you want to roll to hit the dude you mostly missed last time?
Yeah, I'll roll the hit.
Okay. So the dude that you mostly missed last time, who took 1 point of damage, and was able to shoot back with his submachine gun. Yeah.
Okay, I'm shooting at him again.
Okay.
Roll. One success.
Okay. Now, if you push, that's bad for you.
Yeah, because there's 2 ones in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push.
Okay, so just roll to what area you hit. So a D10.
Oh yeah, that's a D10.
Just a basic D10.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, a D10. 2.
Oh, I think that's the head.
No, it's arm.
Ah, one's a head. Right. 2 is the arm. Yep.
Okay, the arm. Okay, and then I roll
Your damage die
dice.
for your weapon, which will be +2.
Yep.
Just roll a D10 and
Yeah.
roll, and we'll add 2 to the number. That's fine.
Yep. Roll.
Come on.
10.
10.
That's not bad.
That'll fix him. And you didn't hit him in the head, so he doesn't get his armor once again.
No.
And he's got no cover, so a 10 is 3 points of damage, and he's already taken 1 because you did him 1 point last time. And I think even the sergeant still only has 4 hit points. Let me have a look. Yep.
Good night.
So he's now at 0. He's also taken a crit. So roll a crit. Roll a d6 on the arm crit.
Okay, a D6 on the arm. D6. Roll. 4.
Ravaged wound. As above. Oh, tears flesh and bone. God, there's too many as aboves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Because I'm reading up the table because each one's an as above. It's
Before
like, hold
coming
on,
back
as
down
above,
again.
as above, as
Yeah.
above. Okay, so he drops his rifle. He drops his submachine gun, sorry. And he's stunned for 1d4 rounds. Then he's got -2 to the limb until surgically improved. Then he's got the bleeding condition, and the limb is useless. And you have to roll a -1. Yeah, that's... I mean, that
Yeah.
all makes some sense,
We could-
but it's all a bit sort of...
It's too much, isn't it?
It's just too much
Yeah.
information, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's unnecessarily sort
There's
of...
lots of pieces.
Let me add all these
Yeah.
things together.
Mm.
No, it's fine. We can simplify those crit tables. That's not a problem.
Yeah. So all right. So he's out of the fight.
Yeah.
He's at 0 hit. He's at 0 physical
Broken,
resilience.
yeah.
He's lost. He's dropped his weapon. He's bleeding. He's stunned. You know, so forth and so on. Just conscious of the time because I think Dave, you said you had a hard stop in 20 minutes. Is that correct?
Yeah, sadly so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that works for me because I still have to finish packing. So you can choose to gun down the last 2 Germans, right? So I mean, they're lying on the ground. They're stunned, as you would recall, and both of them had taken a serious injury, so they're not much chop. And you can kill them.
Yeah,
in
Kane
effect.
will do that. He'll give him 4 rounds from the pistol,
Yeah.
automatic pistol.
And there's the German submachine gun. So, then what you can, so that's the sort of last sort of encounter I had for the playtest. So we'll just sort of, basically we'll pause it, stop it there. That's I think good enough for the purposes for what we've been trying to achieve. So I think, I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what people think about the combat because we've now played out a combat. It took about 30 minutes, give or take, because I was watching the clock. I think I started the combat about 8:05, 8:10, give or take.
Yeah, that was what I had as well.
Yeah, so it took 30 minutes, which is not terrible.
No.
It's certainly not unreasonable. Super deadly. Super deadly, which is fine because it's World War II firearms, which are super deadly, shooting highly puncturable people. Soft cover is kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that encounter
As it
probably
should be.
played out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that encounter played out reasonably as you would probably expect if 4 people were ambushing 3 people who didn't know they were coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you guys definitely had the drop on them. I'd
Yeah.
say one thing, which is really fascinating, because actually that was the conversation I had with Gabrielle, was the whole issue of the green troops and the good commander.
Mm.
That a good commander can take green troops and turn them into pretty good troops. Not
Yep.
brilliant
Yep.
troops, but pretty good
Yeah.
troops, right? And that is explicitly what happens because your command, Dave, is actually really good.
Yeah.
And that had a massive impact on that combat, on both that combat and the
Yes.
previous one.
Yep.
So we
So
may
that-
have accidentally created command as the superpower of the game. Um,
It's possible, isn't it? Yeah.
but equally, it kind of represents, like, you were still kind of shit shots, but you
Mm.
weren't. But you were able to sort of get your act together because you had a commander who's saying, "See those people? We're going to shoot them, and we're all going to shoot together, and we're going to be highly coordinated about it. And you're shooting Fred, and you're shooting Jack, and you're shooting Harry. Just be focused." And then, of course, that ability to pull that initiative gives you sort of a pretty significant superpower for a coordinated shot. I would be tempted to argue that that coordinated sort of initiative should be a little bit less. Like, it's interesting. I don't think the cost of the action is the problem. I think actually it should be something that can only be used when there's an opportunity to be highly coordinated. So
Okay.
in an ambush situation where you have got the drop on them and your commander's like
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, we're all gonna, we're all watching, and the moment they move, we all shoot," as opposed to a sort of ambush firefight situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah, that was an opportunity ambush. It wasn't a planned ambush. We're going to get positions around this path, and we know they're going to walk up the path eventually, because that's a classic ambush where the commander says fire is completely
Yeah.
legit. But it was kind of weird having the crap guy with the worst stats suddenly getting the initiative to make the ambush because he had the worst stat, and then was sort of planning it. That sort of made it back a bit backwards, if you know what I mean, because I rolled the dice because I had the worst stats rather
Yeah.
than the officer.
Oh no, but that's actually how it works, right?
Yeah,
But that's
I'm just saying that.
because you're the easiest to detect is the argument.
Yeah.
So when it comes to infiltration, you're the easiest to see.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
this is exactly the argument we had last fortnight, which is that's how Year Zero plays it. Is
Yep.
it how it should play it? Is a really fascinating question. It's to simplify dice rolling, good, but it also sort of removes any capacity for, like, you to choose. Like, how do you deal with scouts and other things? I guess is the question, right? So how do you put someone in front of the team who's going to make sure how all of those sorts of questions, because that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think combat good. I do think the sort of dice rolling is a little clunky, but not terrible. We didn't get to see what happens when you roll on all the stress die because you had Dave basically making you pretty hard to affect with that.
Mm.
Yep.
We should have rolled. Actually, we should have been. Actually, sorry. You all should have rolled a guts check when you got hit
Right.
the second time round, which we didn't do.
No.
So
I don't think it suffered for that though. Actually.
No.
And I do wonder in this situation. You get the gunfire that we had from the Russians at the start. You got a guts check for that. Then you had to have a guts check to see if you could move. Then you get a guts check if you get nicked. Is there just too much kind of?
I
playing
certainly
on
think
that
it'll
stress?
significantly slow down combat. If
Yeah.
Because in effect you're rolling 2 lots of damage with every bullet.
Yeah.
Because you're
yeah.
rolling a physical damage and a stress damage opportunity for every single hit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dice rolling.
I don't think that's unreasonable. I think there's a reason. I don't mind how much dice rolling is. I think it only took that long because it was first time round. By our 5th firefight, it would have been. I reckon we'd have it slick. If we had a 5th firefight, it would have been slick. It just took a little while to find it on the roll sheet,
Yeah, I
no,
think Realm
all of
doesn't
the
have it, does it?
additions. Like even the second round of combat was boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah,
there
First
be
one was the first one
would
was
there,
awkward as hell, but the second round of combat was actually did it.
are you guys gonna write like a way for a character to upgrade to some type of like talent that works with guts? 'Cause,
Yeah, there's a
I mean,
bunch of them already. Like I've just
then
done.
yeah,
Yeah.
you should keep the guts roll the way it is then, so that way they have an incentive to actually get those talents.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess the point I guess what's interesting to me, and maybe it to your point, Bart, it's just a it's just a thing now. And look, all of these games are going to be more crunchy than I'm used to. Well, than I've become used to. I used to run Pathfinder for everyone, so crunchy used to be my
Middle name. Yeah.
yeah. I feel like I'm even as I say it out loud, I feel weak. So there are guts things you can improve your mental resilience. I think the talents. Oh no, those are talents. Those aren't feats. Those aren't specialities. That's why it's not making any sense. So Brandon, in answer to your question, there's immunity to guts checks for suppression, which you can get with 2 purchases. So 2 specializations. Oh, hold on. Are you going to bed? Oh wow. Okay. I'm recording. Okay. Love you. Love you too, Dad. Good night. Kiddo. Oh, and you can so there's guts to make you there's specialities to make you immune to or to improve your chance of resisting suppression, and there's actually ones already for the damage one as well. I can see a lot of people investing in those specialities for guts though.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty damned attractive, particularly once combat starts to land.
That's
Yeah.
what a veteran is.
True.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
That is a very
Yeah,
fair point.
it's a
Yep.
fair point.
They
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
better. I mean, there's that whole story about the first year of American soldiers in the war, particularly the first 6 months, that they were highly, they were quite fragile, but they became quite combat adept
Yeah.
by the second half of the first 6 months. And certainly after that, they're, tough as anyone else. And that would exactly exemplify that change.
Yeah.
Where they're getting tougher and tougher and more experienced in combat, and recognizing that hiding behind things isn't actually the answer to the question. Push forward, push forward, push forward, right? That's one interesting thing. The game mechanic actually does not incentivize a sort of push forward mechanic. Anyway, that's a thought for another day. Cool. Well, I think that's it. Was that alright? That was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
it's good.
Cool. Well, so I will upload the video to YouTube, Dave. I'll attach it to the playtest Facebook group.
Yep.
Great,
Great, thank you.
So that can be seen. I think it was a pretty effective test of a couple of things, so that was good.
Yeah, I think it's very good. It's like you're saying, Bart. Actually, if you play it a few times, it's going to become really quite slick. I guess it's the obstacle, the barrier to actually getting that far. Whether people would look at it and just go, "Puh," and not really bother because it just looks too complicated on the face of it.
Yeah.
But I think we could probably streamline some of it and simplify some of it.
That's part of actually it was part of the reason why I asked Bart if he'd be willing to be part of this, right? Because Bart plays, miniatures World War II games.
Yeah.
Which is definitely going to be a big part of the audience for this game.
Yeah.
Because we're coming at it from a sort of, year zero aesthetic, theatre of the mind kind of world. So it's good to hear. Sorry, Bart, I don't mean to speak about you in the third person, but it's good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear a completely different perspective on that, because we tend to say, "Oh, hold on, I've had to roll how many dice in the how many times have I had to roll in the last hour? What? That's insane." So it's good to have a quite different aesthetic.
Actually, it's possibly not insane at all. It might be exactly the right thing to do.
Yeah. So it's a really helpful insight, actually. Any last comments, Brandon,
Cool.
Jason?
You mentioned something about scouting and stuff like that. Are you just like I was wondering if maybe you could just pluck the Forbidden Lands, the way that kind of works with scouting, where you can have like some person up in front, not in this scenario because it wasn't applicable, but like in another scenario where someone's actually up in front. I was wondering if you had a mechanic for that, because or maybe I just
So,
miss.
We
yeah,
could have
so
had
the-
Arcady and myself pushing Brandon and Jason out the front doing the wriggle, signal. Even
Yeah.
in something as little as us, we could have had an arrowhead formation. So,
'Cause I'm
you know,
wondering if this game could have like those types of journeying mechanics in it.
yeah.
Because
So
it's kind
I've done some travel sort of hex crawling mechanics, which were more based on Mutant Year Zero than on Forbidden Lands. Where Forbidden Lands, the journey is so much of it, whereas Mutant Year Zero, the kind of getting to the destination is slightly more important. Um, but yeah, they're basically in first draft and being looked at the moment. But
nice.
yes, in theory, we definitely want to do something like that. Certainly for the campaign game, where you'll have an area of operations and you'll need to travel from where you are to where your target is, and that journey getting to the target will be a big part of the scenario, as well as actually managing your mission at the end.
Yeah.
What about rations and food? Are you gonna do anything like that?
I think it depends. So I think for this kind of scenario, then you definitely need some kind of mechanic for that. For something like Normandy, you probably do want something around it, but whether actual role playing the supply chain is going to be fun.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess the next is the question. And how big an
Yeah.
issue, other than things like Bastogne, for example, how big an
Yeah.
issue were supplies generally in those kind of situations? If you get pulled back behind the lines, would you get
Yeah.
pretty well resupplied before you were put back in the front again? So I
That's
think we
true.
do want something. We do want something about it, certainly for things like Battle of the Bulge. But whether how integral a part of the game that will be, it might be something you just play for certain scenarios, perhaps.
What about morale? You guys
The-
gonna do anything with morale? Like cold? You get cold? Is it or weather effects? Do you have weather effects?
So there's a
The,
bunch
my
of
immediate one,
hypothermia and other
I'll
things.
go for a second. Sorry, my
Yeah.
immediate one is that something like Normandy, the U.S. troops got have candy bars in their tummy, and the Germans have got French cooks behind them, and so everyone should be on their flat stats. Something like Bastogne or Stalingrad, everyone on both sides should be dice down.
Yeah.
Maybe the Germans could be 2 dice down because they're starving, and the Russians have a bit of a supply chain, and they're all 1 die. And everything you do is just more crap because you're frozen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there
and
are
then have it like that and quick.
there are
Everyone's
mechanics in
frozen.
the rules for things like exposure and other things. So there are already environmental mechanics for taking damage. So
Yep.
I would just apply those. I did think about so I'll be obviously transparent. I originally wrote this for the Twilight 2000 rules, and in that I had everyone with various Twilight conditions, right? So because in Twilight 2000 rules there is you're starving, you're freezing,
Yeah.
you haven't had enough sleep as specific conditions. So each of you had one or more of those conditions ticked at the start of the adventure in the
Yeah.
Twilight 2000 rules, explicitly because. But then I was really running a survivalist horror, game when I wrote that. I have used the same setting to playtest the rules here, so I've not chased that down as much because it was mostly about testing mechanics, not about actually running a scenario. But there are mechanics in there. They're not missing. They're towards the back end of the damage rules.
Oh yeah, I was just curious. Obviously, there's not enough time to really go through the whole, rule book and all the scenarios involved. But yeah, I was just kind of curious.
Jason, any comments from you before we let Dave go, and myself for that matter?
Yeah, I think the only comment that I had written down here was I think For combat, there's a lot of tables for each attack. If you get what I mean, like for each attack, there's a lot of steps, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. I mean, I play D&D. I can't really complain about lots of steps to combat, but it is a note that there is a lot of steps to combat, more than you would usually see in a Year Zero engine kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's exactly where, some of us are standing, I think. So it'll be interesting to see. But to Bart's point, I think familiarity will breed some degree of contempt.
Yeah.
So it'll be, pretty quick, pretty fast.
I think there is definitely a thing about looking at it and streamlining it if there is anywhere where we can streamline it.
Yeah. One thing I would say is the language needs to be streamlined, right? Like it needs to be crisp because there's a lot of noise at the moment. But it's good.
Agreed.
All right, Dave, I think you had a hard stop
Brilliant.
in exactly 3 minutes. So
I do. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
No
Yeah,
worries.
it was
Thanks,
good.
everyone. Brandon, go to
cheers,
sleep.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Brandon's hard stop is a lot worse than mine, frankly.
Yeah, I'd say, It's like, must be 3 a.m. or something. It must be time to go to bed. All right, talk to you guys later.
Thanks,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys. See you
thanks,
later.
Bart.
See you.
Ciao.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.